I'm Halima Abubakar, a professional marriage counselor, an anger management and emotional intelligence coach, and a mental health advocate. I love to see women thrive in every aspect of their lives. I am the secretary of From Coal to Diamond Support Network, an organization that looks into the plight of Muslim families' emotional and mental stability. Marriage needs work, commitment, and love, but it also needs ample care to be truly happy and successful. The Premarital Counseling Conference, organized by From Coal to Diamond Support Network, is an event of a lifetime. Everything marriage will be discussed, from when to get married, who to get married to, and what to know before marriage will be discussed. Seeing marriages excel and the youth of today knowing what to do in their marriages, knowing their roles and responsibilities is very important to us, and it is very dear to our hearts. If you're tired of seeking advice from the wrong places and making mistakes over and over again, then this conference is for you. If you're already in marriage and you seek to be better, then this conference is also for you. Attend the Premarital Counseling Conference come September 4th, 2021, and let's talk about marriage. See you there.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Bilkis Mohammed, the president of Coal to Diamond Support Network. Coal to Diamond Support Network is a foundation that looks into the plight of women and the entire Muslim family. At Coal to Diamonds, we believe every woman is a coal waiting to be beautified into the diamond that she is. It is said, when you educate a woman, you educate the ummah. At Coal to Diamonds, we say, when you beautify a woman, you beautify the whole ummah. Alhamdulillah, at Coal to Diamonds, we have a vision, and our vision is to be the #1 change agent for Muslim families to attain growth and emotional balance. Our mission is to support families to maintain emotional stability through positive mindset and empowerment while uplifting the Muslim Ummah. Over the years, we've had a series of exciting programs like our popular Healer Room for the Muslim woman, Muslimah Legend and Sisters Circle, Quran classes, and our community outreach, which Alhamdulillah has been very impactful to the society.
Every woman needs to connect, to heal, to understand she's not alone. Healing Room is a quarterly program where women come together to unburden, to share, and to find solace in a no-judgment Amana zone.
Sister Circle is one of the programs run by Coal to Diamonds, where we read up stories of awesome, ebullient Muslim women of the past, draw up lessons from the lives, struggles, and achievements of these beautiful Muslimah legends, and strategize ways in which we can imbibe these lessons in our lives.
We run a community outreach program where we offer free counseling and therapy to women in the communities around us. We educate them on self-awareness, emotional health, positive self-talk, and empowerment. We also hold the annual Premarital Conference to educate the Muslim youth on the need for the knowledge of rights and duties of spouses in marriage. We, however, lay emphasis on the importance of shifting focus from the wedding to the marriage itself.
Coal to Diamond is a faith-based organization whose foundation is deeply rooted in Islamic knowledge. We have identified that lack of Islamic knowledge is one of the major challenges that is facing the Muslim families today. And so we run Quran classes for women where we teach them how to
My name is Bilkis Mohammed. I am the president of Coal to Diamond Support Network.
My name is Halima Abubakar. I'm a marriage and family therapist.
My name is Asma Isa, the financial secretary of Coal to Diamond Support Network.
My name is Maimuna Ummi Abdullah, aka Coach Diddi. Do you think about your marriage?
The diamond. But we all know, well, maybe some don't. Um, how does a diamond come about? It starts as a core. It undergoes a lot of pressure and it becomes a diamond. So the name came about because we believe it started actually as a dream of one of us. And along the line, we came along, we shared the same dream. And we all believe that Gold to Diamond, the name came about because we believe every woman is a diamond. Most women start as a gold. We undergo that pressure, and along the line, we become the diamond that we are. So in Gold to Diamond, we support that notion that every woman is a diamond, and using the right tools and undergoing that pressure will bring out that diamond that you are. So we have a lot of programs in Call to Diamond. It's a support group for women, but not just women, for families. Because we believe the woman is the bedrock of the family. That's why we always emphasize on women, women, women. But we also deal with all family members, especially women and then youth. Okay? In Call to Diamond, we do a lot of things. We have programs like the Healing Room. We have counseling, therapy, community outreach, rebirth therapy, and lots more. We have the brand classes, we have the sister side. For example, the Healing Room is one thing that a lot of women look forward to. If you have never been to the Healing Room, watch out for the next one, because I assure you, once you start attending, you'll never want to miss it. The Healing Room is one of our big projects, if I may call it, one of our big babies. What the Healing Room does is women come together it's a women-only program. No men are allowed. And it's a no judgment zone program. Why we call it a no judgment zone is women come together to share our challenges, what we go through, seeking for solutions. And we share with each other, we unleash, we unburden, we help each other. And at the end of the day, by the grace of Allah, you'll find a solution. And you'll realize that it's not only you are not the only one. There's another sister that is there for you, even if you don't know her. Those are some of our programs. We have the community outreach where we go to the outskirts. We don't only deal with literate women or educated women, no. We go to the outskirts where we meet women and we educate them on mental health, how to raise their children, parental counseling, marriage counseling, and all that. And we also do encourage a lot of premarital counseling. Premarital, if you are not yet married. Postmarital, if you're already in it. Yes. The fact that you're already married doesn't mean that you don't need counseling, but oh no, we all do. Those are some of our programs. And one of our biggest dreams is to have a center. Excuse me. Sorry. One of our biggest dreams is to have a center where we will have all this under one roof, where women can come to that center and get a relief. We want it to be like a relief center for women. Women will come, we try to solve each other's problems. We intend it will be a center that's also like a hostel where we'll have our programs and we deal with women, their challenges, reverts, and all that. But Baba is you're coming up. Okay? This is what we are dreaming to have, inshallah. And we want everyone, each and everyone, it doesn't matter whether you're big, small, you're just starting, everybody can key in. You can support this dream of ours in one way or another. This is our biggest dream for now, to have such a center where we can continue to have our programs all under one roof, inshallah. So we are all inviting you to join us, support us in any way you can. to achieve our dreams. This is just a dream of a few women among us, but I know from today it might be the dream of so many among us here, inshallah. So this is just some of what we do for Diamonds. We have a lot of people here, but when I look at our social media handles, I see very few following. Please, I urge everybody here to check us out on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. Our handles are Called to Diamond Support Network. Please, I want everyone to raise up their hand and make a pledge that they will start following our pages right here and now before they leave this place. And then you will tell your family and friends to do so, because we want to reach as many women as possible. We have worked with over 2,000 women. We have worked with a lot of women, and we want, when we reach out to you, you reach out to the next woman. In that way, it goes round, and then when you reach the woman, you are reaching to the family. So please, we need following on our social media handles. Check it out now and click that button. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Don't go yet, don't go. Thank you so much. A beautiful presentation there by Sister Khadija. President, please, can you come on stage? Quickly, they are going to make a little presentation. We call it premarital codes. They are familiar codes you have, but consciously we want to instill this in us. Now, when you mention some of these words, how do you use it? How can we make it relevant to ourselves? So you're going to do this, yeah?
We all have this. Okay, you can open to the page that says Premarital Codes. We just want to go through it and explain what those codes mean so that we have a better idea. Okay, premarital codes. We have here the spouse, the couple, the marriage, the weddings. This is like a takeaway for everybody here. So next time you hear the word spouse, have it at the back of your mind that, okay, it actually has another meaning apart from the main meaning of what the spouse is. So here spouse said support, patience, obedience, unity, sacrifice, empathy, support. When you have a spouse, it means it's no longer just you. It is two of you. So what is one if the other supports the other spouse? So from now on, when you hear the word spouse, you know the S means support. We should support one another. Patience, stubborn. Patience, sabr. As it says in Hausa, even it says harshe da hakuri ma'ana sabawa. So it is expected that when two different people come together, there will be that conflict, so many things. So patience should be the bedrock of every couple. Obedience. We all have rights over each other. The wife has rights over the husband, and the husband has rights over the wife. So obedience is key. We obey what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ordained for us as our rights. It doesn't mean that it's just the wife that does the obedience, even the husband. Allah has ordained some rights on the husband that he should obey. So we both should adhere to that obedience. Unity. Marriage means coming together of two people. So when two things come together, they definitely have to unite. If there is no unity, of course there will be disunity. And there is no marriage that we want any disunity. So unity is what the U means in spouse. Sacrifice. Marriage is all about sacrifice. Because she's coming from a different background, he's coming from a different background. You have to find a common ground. You make compromises, you make sacrifices to make it work. empathy. If you live, even the animals that you have under your care, you should have empathy towards. Talk less of your own spouse that you live together with everything.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So I'm taking the word couple from today. When couple comes to your mind, you think about communication. It is said the illusion about communication is the assumption that it has taken place. Most of the time we think we are communicating, but we actually aren't. Learn effective communication between yourselves. It is good for couples to have it. I think that's one of the main problems with marriages. Openness. Try and be open with each other. Be vulnerable to each other. There is nothing about perfection in life. If you have a problem, confide in your partner or spouse. Understanding. Open up your mind to understand where your partner is coming from. Most of the time we have assumptions, so we don't even listen to understand. Open up your minds, learn to listen to understand. Politeness. We're mostly polite with people outside the home, and we forget our politeness outside. When communicating to your partner, learn politeness. Charity begins at home. Love. So we have different definitions of love. Love is an illusion. The real love is to support, be empathetic, politeness. All these words will come under love. If you really love somebody, you'll go an extra mile for that person. Encouragement. Try to always affirm each other. Encourage each other. Be kind with your partners with their weaknesses. Affirm the strengths, but be kind with the weakness. Nobody is perfect. When you're not perfect, why expect perfection from the next person? So encourage each other. Always affirm your partner. Thank you.
Marriage. Next time you hear the word marriage, some of these meanings should come to your mind. Sometimes I used to look at marriage, you know the word ma means to destroy and to, for example, you get a cake, you squish it and squash it and make it look like something that it's not. Well, marriage should be that. Two people coming together to become one. When you squeeze and squash that cake, it no longer looks like that beautiful cake that was arranged, but it has become, everything has become one. The cream, the cake, everything. So I think that's what marriage should be. That's what I always think about when I hear the word marriage. I take that ma out of it. And ma means to bring it all together and yes. So mindfulness. You should be mindful of each other. I mean, you cannot, you have to love for your brother what you love for yourself. What of your spouse? What of your spouse? Okay. So we should be mindful of each other. Attention. Pay attention to your spouse. Pay attention to your spouse. We don't just do things just like that. Be mindful. If you are being mindful, you are paying attention, right? Okay. Respect. You respect each other. That is the key. You can't live with somebody you disrespect. There will be disunity and so many other things. Righteousness. Both of you should be under the same righteousness. Be under what Allah has ordained for the two of you. Invest in that relationship. It's just like a bank account. You can't keep taking without without depositing. So the more you take, the more you deposit. One person cannot be taken and the other one will keep depositing. It will not work. So the two of you will have to both invest in that relationship. Assistance, assist each other. Two of you should assist each other. Generosity. be generous towards each other and towards others as well. Empowering. When you talk of empowering, one side, the couple will be empowered and the other one will be so dependent. So both of you should encourage each other and try to empower each other.
The weddings. Our theme today, weddings. When wedding comes to your mind, think of this, not all the glitz and glamour of marriage. Willingness, always be willing to support and be there for your spouse. Empowering, it is back again. So we need to learn to empower each other in different ways. Empowering the mind, be kind, affirm each other. Dedication, be dedicated to your marriage. Be dedicated to make it work. Most of the time, we get married and we forget the reason. Remember why you're there. Make it work. If you're dedicated to make it work, you'll focus on making it work. Devotedness, that's a deeper form of dedication. I don't know those that know Turanchi, but I'll assume that it's devote yourself to your marriage 100%. You have to be intentional about it. Whatever you focus on is what you'll see. Intention, subhanallah, this is the biggest of all. Why are we getting married? If it's an act of ibadah, then always remember whatever you do, you're doing it for Allah's sake. If you intend to do it for Allah's sake, you'll find ease while doing it, regardless of how difficult it will be. You'll see someone in a marriage, her relatives will be saying, but she doesn't see it because she's dedicated. She has the intention. She's doing it for Allah's sake. And He makes it easy. Challenges will always be there, but let's intend to do it for Allah's sake. Put that at the back of your mind. Always, whatever you're doing, do it for Allah's sake. Nurturing. We nurture our children. When you have a baby, you take care of that baby. You nurture them. Nurture your spouse. Hold them like eggs in your hand. Take care of your spouse. Gratefulness. Be grateful for your spouse, regardless of their weaknesses. Always seek to see the strength in your spouse. And there is a coach that taught me to always write one thing I'm grateful about my spouse every day. And subhanAllah, that has changed my mindset completely about marriage. Because we're always looking at the negative. But by the time you start to focus on the positive, it will change everything. That's where the mindset shift will come from. I hope today, as you leave this place, wherever you hear these words, spouse, couple, marriage, and weddings, you remember the code. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sisters. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Wow, beautiful presentation. So what are you grateful for? Hello? What are you grateful for? What are you worried about? There are other things you should be grateful for. The moment is here. The moment you'll be waiting for is here. Please open your heart and ask your questions. Coach Halima, please come back on stage, and your team. Coach Halima and your team. So we are going to ask them our questions. Please ask your questions. No wrong or right questions or wrong or right answers. We're going to ask you questions and you have to answer us. Coach Halima and the other coaches. Please.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu. Good. Alhamdulillah, we thank Allah Azza wa Jalla for bringing us back again. Super wonderful participants. This is awesome. I don't know about you, my sister with eyes, Jannah. I don't know if there is any conference where people go and then they come back again. The hall is filled back to its capacity. Put your hands together for yourselves. MashaAllah. So, yes, this is really important. We wanted to come back because we want to fulfill our promise. We said we want to make it practical, more informative. We want you to ask questions. And I know my Ustaz is here. Inshallah, Ustaz will try to do justice with the time. All right. Yes, and inshallah, Ustaz, don't be too comfortable because you may be needed up here. There are some questions that should be answered by you too. In case, I know the anchor introduced our Ustaz is actually one of our POTM Board of Trustee members. He has been so supportive. I know there is never a dull moment with Ustaz. We are students of learning. We learn every time, every day you are with him, you learn so much. So, Ustaz, like I said, don't be too comfortable. You'll be coming up here, inshallah. All right, sisters, they just read the marriage code. This is a premarital code by Code to Diamond coaches.
Yes,
yes, please. Those that don't want to ask questions physically, if you don't understand to ask questions, write it. The people will go around to take the questions and bring them to the stage here. Can we just do that as quickly as possible? I know we all have writing materials before us. Thank you. All right. Okay, there's someone there. I know we are all dying to talk. We want to ask. Please, at this point, I want to say that if you are here and you are with your phones, can you kindly tag Call to Diamond on Instagram? Tag us. If you have not followed us yet, please can you follow us at Call to Diamond on Instagram, Facebook, at Call to Diamond too, please. We want to see that by the end of this conference, the followership should triple, inshallah.
My name is Amadu, on the way from Taraba State. Ustaz, here comes a question. Rasulullah mentioned that in Hadith 10:59 that nobody will get into that now unless someone who has Iman, that is faith. Then your Iman cannot be completed until when you believe in the 6 categories. Then when you have one in as lactation, that Imam, when you purchase out there, the coach mentioned that a woman is a diamond, and then the husband is a blue sapphire. When a woman is a diamond, you go out there, find a woman of your choice, then that is part of your belief. Then when you met her wrong, well, whether she met you wrong, then you now stand by this counsel. I want to know, how is that belief in me? You have a choice and then later on rejected the choice. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. Please, thank you very much for that question, but we would like to get the final part of the question. We didn't get the question itself. Can you please rephrase it? Simplify it, please.
The question is, as you mentioned, a woman is a diamond.
Outrightly, or you keep her, remove the marital impediment. That's my understanding. So what you do when the mistake is already made is there's always a very large room for making somebody better. Since the act of goodness is something with which human being is naturally installed in man,
but over time it gets corrupt due to maybe his or her exposure, her civilization, and things like that. So I would advise such a person, such a wife, you can register on this type of platform. She comes for a character coach maritally. She attends classes that has to do with matrimonial convenience, comfort, and solace, how they are achieved, things like that. She will get better, definitely. And if anything arises, on your own part, you try to make sure you do all you are supposed to do. Because sometimes, when you see problems coming from women or from wives, some of them are not auto-eruptional, they are not self-eruptional, but they are sometimes prompted by the husband, directly or indirectly. So you make sure your own part as a husband, your roles are fulfilled, then you now look at ways through which you can get her corrected. You should not divorce. Divorce is not the outright solution. What you do is maybe try to correct her by registering on all these platforms. Do your own, and also invite the parents to do. And if she got up a lima, in ahlihi wa hakama bi ahliha, in yurida islaha, yuwaffiq illahu bainahum. Just as our brother and sister said, always do that, and Allah will make it easy for us. Wallahu ta'ala.
This is assuming you've done everything right. Properly investigated the woman, did your istihara. All the signs were clear that she is the woman for you. And circumstances change, like the brother was saying, people change. And when that happens, acts of divorce, permitted but the most disliked act by Allah, He permits us to divorce, to do it in kindness. But there are times divorce itself is an act of ibadah. We know the story of Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salam, who went to visit his son, Prophet Ismail alayhi salam. And the moment Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam got to the house, the wife was complaining of one thing or another. And when the father met the son, what he told Prophet Ismail alayhi salam is, the curtain of your house is not good. Because she was divulging the challenges, the problems, the secrets of the house to her father. So Prophet Ismail alayhi salam then divorced his wife and remarried. And then Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam went to visit again. And when he got to the house, met the new wife, told his son, Prophet Ismail alayhi salam, your curtain is now good. So there are times when you've done everything right, you've taken all the steps, all the procedures, all the siha and advice that needs to be taken, but it doesn't work out. And the advice is part in peace, part in kindness. And we advise not to go divulging the cause of the divorce to people outside. So yes, it can happen. That is essentially your trial. Like Allah promised, He will try us with our health, our wealth, and our loved ones. That wife or that husband, because this is applicable to men only, sisters could have the same problem with their husbands. So we should be careful when we talk about these things, and we think it is only the men that have the right to not like a union and want to get a divorce. Same thing applies to the sisters also, where men can fail the women and they can also seek to get out of the marriage. So yes, she's the diamond, you're the blue sapphire. If that blue sapphire doesn't match a diamond, she can also end the marriage. Thank you very much.
Jazakallahu khairan, Alhaji Said. So I have another question here, and I think I should direct that question to my coaches, because this is in our own field. This is what we deal with every day. These are the calls you receive. These are the people you welcome in the center. Now the question goes, how do we manage porn addiction before and after marriage? Somebody want to do first? Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي امري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي اما بعد. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Once again, brothers and sisters in Islam, my take on porn addiction is that it's damaging. It's damaging spiritually, physically, emotionally, and whatever else you can think of. If you're addicted to porn, you will not like your partner. You will not want to be with the partner, because even if you are with your partner, that partner cannot satisfy you. And Islamically, it is not allowed. I don't know, there are my ulamas here, maybe they can shed more light to that, but it is not allowed. That's the first. So anything that is not allowed, there are consequences to it. There are consequences, and part of it is not liking your partner, because all those things you see online, they are not true. So you will have high expectation of your partner to do certain things that is maybe not even allowed in Islam, or whatever your partner tries to do, to satisfy your needs, your desires, she will not be able, or he will not be able to. So it is actually, damaging spiritually, because you will have problems with your maker, and then, or maybe if you die in that act, what are you going to tell your maker? And your partner, you will never, have a good relationship with your spouse because of that involvement, indulging in that act of watching porn. Subhanallah. And there is one thing I have read, I can't remember where, in the books of Islam, where they say looking at other people's aura damages the brain, damages the sight. So it is a no-no in all areas. I don't know if any one of you have something to add to that.
Said by Janot, being damaging to the sight, it's a killer of desires, because you will not even, it just destroys you. You will not be satisfied in any form. But that being said, it's not something that most people can handle their own. It's something that you need help. You want to stop this, if you are really, honestly, you need help. You need to seek a counselor, you need to okay, you need to find a therapist to help you get over that addiction. And there may be an underlying need or that is really nagging deep within you. So that's why you need a therapist to help do that. Thank you.
Let me add something briefly. Assalamu alaikum. The thing about pornography is, it's something we pretend. Most of us pretend it's not true, but most of us actually engage in pornography. And as much as I tell people, it's not just about you as a couple, it's not about you as a parent. I mean, as a husband and wife, it's actually more of you as a moral compass of your family. Many kids' first sight of pornography was from their parents' phones. I work with kids, so I know this. The first time most children saw pornographic content in their life was when they were using their parents' phone to do assignments. And it pops up. Or messages from girlfriends. Believe me, this is very, very rampant. Nude pictures from a girlfriend sending to your father. Tell me, what do you do to the mind of that child? You traumatize your own children. So it's something we really have to think about. I think we have to be very brief about answering the questions, right?
Yes, thank you very much. So, okay. Should we take that before? Okay. So we'll take the live question. I just want to quickly add that in case you have issues with porn addiction, you can actually reach out to any of us, inshallah. The good thing about this conference is after this whole thing, we will have a breakout session. We are ready for you today. We will have a breakout session where you can actually reach out to any one of us. If you need help, please come forward. If you know someone that needs help, come forward. We need to salvage the ummah. Thank you very much.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Coaches, I have one question and one comment. I don't know if I'm allowed Sorry, forgot switch. Hello, can you hear me, coaches?
Yes, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
My question is, one, I don't know, despite the premarital counseling, you know, the lots of chatting, you know, the dinner date, baby calling, we learned that marriages last 3 years. But I'm talking. I say these days, despite the premarital counseling, shawarma, movie going, the chatting, and all that, baby calling. The marriage they didn't have all these things. But you see their marriages lasting 30, 40 years. So I don't know what explanation. I don't know if I'm allowed to make a comment.
Okay, can I quickly take this?
Okay. Can I make a comment, please? Okay, the other comment I want to make is about reception that we do in our marriages. And we should all know that we are first Muslims, and there's no tradition more than tradition of Islam. Islam says we should do walima. But the way we Muslims do reception these days is like we are passing the Christians. You see a Muslim girl wearing a wedding gown that's transparent, like a Christian. You see a girl, a married woman, getting married and dancing in front by in-laws, father-in-laws, mother-in-law, dancing. And then the man coming to kiss his wife. As Muslims, we should frown on that. You know, she's your wife. Whatever you want to do, when you go home, there are no children. If you want to do it on the ceiling, don't fall down and break your neck.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the comment. So I want to quickly take the question. Yes, I want to address this question from two sides. Yes, our parents, they didn't have this opportunity of premarital counseling, just like you said, which I stand to disagree, because our parents, even though it wasn't called premarital formally, they had informal information, right? In the olden days, when a girl is about to go into marriage, sometimes she could be kept indoors for months. They counsel her, they tell her things, they show her how to take care of herself, and much more. Because their marriages lasted for 30, 40 years, does that mean that they were all happy? We decide to embark on this journey because we all had stories. We all had stories. So, it doesn't mean that they were all happy. Some of them were not happy and they were never given opportunity to speak out. Some left this world miserable, depressed, angry. Some they lost their health, their mental health. So again, like I said, I'm taking this question from two dimensions. Now, secondly, yes, times change, and we all know that values change. We have the opportunity to attend, of course, premarital counseling, or we have the social media. Google is our friend. We can Google to know a lot of things. But again, we all know that with freedom comes a huge price to pay. The social media is there at our beck and call, yet nobody can regulate the information that comes to us. So I don't know if other speakers have something to say.
The gentleman talked about shawarma, ice cream, and so on and so forth. And I think he's referring to the courtship process. And here's the problem we face as parents. When do we start engaging our children on the appropriate behavior, female, when it comes to marriage? Do we start it early to condition them that those things are not acceptable? Or do we mind our own business until a year or two before marriage? Then we start trying to impart that knowledge to them when they've already been influenced by social media, like what Halima just said. Parenthood is something that has to be deliberate. From the moment you have a son, remember he's going to become a husband and a father. It starts that early. The same thing when you have a daughter. This applies to both mothers and fathers. So it's not something that you do remotely, for their well-being, and so on and so forth. No. When I spoke earlier, I talked about life lessons. You as a father, you as a mother, what mistakes did you make? You don't want your children to repeat it. You start very early. We started with our children when they were in primary school, what is right and what is wrong. Not until they were 16, 17, 18, or 19. So how you raise them will determine how they behave at that particular time. That's the other one. I agree with Coach Halima. In our discussions with a lot of our parents and grandparents, wallahi, they swallowed a lot. The reason why today we're having the challenges we're having with marriage is not lasting. One is the women are more knowledgeable. That's number one. Number two, they're not beholden to their husbands for financial security. They're educated, they have jobs, they can survive on their own. And they're not willing to be tolerant of the abuse and mistreatment. So when we are sitting here as men thinking we can behave the way our fathers or grandfathers did, it's not going to happen. They're not going to take it. And the burden, I was discussing with Pen Abdul, I was discussing with the Imam, the burden, wallahi tallahi, is on us, the men. We don't do it right, many of them will walk away. The problem is when society then develops a crisis, ultimately, we are the ones Allah will hold accountable. So let's be very, very aware of our responsibilities as husbands and as fathers of both boys and girls. Let's get involved early. Thank you.
I have a trailer load of questions here. I'm wondering how we are going to attend to all these questions. And more is coming. Okay, so I have this. How will one address an issue where a brother wants to marry a sister from a higher social class? The mother of the bride refuses, but the other supports. The father supports, the mother refuses. So, how can one address this issue? Please, one minute.
Very quick personal story. When I was courting Mariam, I was in the States, she was in Nigeria. There were other suitors who came. All of them were well off, well-to-do. I was a grad student. And when we were introduced, the first thing I told Mariam is, my name from a big family, but the money is not me. And I told her, if you would prefer to marry someone with more money, wallahi, I wouldn't have a problem, I'll let you go. She said, no, she is going to stay with me. I said, I'm a poor student, no pretenses. And I raised this earlier. And Rasulullah cautioned us to marry within our social status. Why is that? You go marry Dangote's son. You know, my father is maybe a farmer in the village. Yes, we met, I got a scholarship, went to school, we met in the university. She's a rich, what's her lifestyle like? What is she used to? Can I be able to maintain that? We can say, oh, we're in love, everything will be okay. First week, you eat teba. Second week, you eat amala. Then she's thinking about the salads and the soups and what have you that she's used to. Before you know, in about a couple of months, there's a problem. That is realistic. And what the mother is saying is true. Don't go take on a burden that you cannot carry. You know, you can tell her, honestly, this is my condition. If she truly, truly loves you and say, you know what, I understand, maybe we can give you loans, that business, pay us back, and what have you. There are pitfalls to that also. Because my worry about marrying somebody above your class is when you have a fight. These things happen. When they get angry and get frustrated, they will say things that maybe they will regret saying later. But the reality is, you're not in the same social status. So as much as you love her, honestly, I would say be very, very careful. It's not impossible, but be careful of the potential pitfalls. Thank you.
Thank you very much. On the other hand, please, parents, if they are genuinely in love and this young man is responsible, can you kindly allow your daughters to marry, especially if he has God's consciousness? That is, yes, after all, in Islam, that's the criteria, that's the highest criteria of marriage. So please, let's also look at the other side. There's nothing wrong in us doing that. Okay, so I have another question. I think this question is the same. The relationship between love and social media. I think it's the same. Okay, so yes, this is also the same. I have experience. Sisters are pretending. I have always tell sisters, okay, I don't think I understand it. Okay, but I think what he's trying to say is that sisters don't want a brother that is God-fearing. They always want to go after money. That's what he's trying to say. But he said he's going to continue to trust in Allah. In fact, I love this. You already proffer solution to your question. Continue to trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah will not put you to shame. Really, brother, take this from me. Trust in Allah, you'll have your good one. There's another question here. Yes, okay, so this is really interesting because this aligns with the theme of today's event. A man and woman preparing for marriage and intending to go about it in line with Islamic teaching, but parents and elderly relatives are insisting on having all the events of the parties. As an obedient child, how do you go about it? I think we have been 1 minute, please.
What you do in such a situation is to go very, very polite and make them understand what is obtainable in Islam, which is also in accordance to your own interest. Because we are a staple, very, very polite about it. What Allah has always said regarding parents is you give them all obedience. But when you see that they digress or derail on the track of Islam, you don't follow them in such condition. That's it. You follow them in all areas. But if you meet them to do something against Islam and Islam, you don't come like this. Dunya ma'ruf. The ma'ruf is yours. You tolerate the excesses in the way that you are. That is what I want to do. Because there's no how you try to obey or please the creation and displeasing the creator of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Okay, we have a physical question. We are gender sensitive. Let's go to the females. Who is asking a physical question? Go ahead.
My question, in a situation whereby the daughter doesn't want an event in her wedding, and then maybe the parent insists because she doesn't have to stay, probably maybe she's the first child, and her mother wants to
what? Okay, sister Jazakina Khairan, I think it's the same question that was just answered here. Ustaz just said that we should not, you should not obey the creation and disobey the creator, right? But again, in doing that, please do it with utmost respect. They are your parents, respect and politeness. Thank you. So for this, I would direct this to one of the coaches. What point? Okay, so at what point does rage, attack, and excessive social media engagement becomes a red flag in marriage? Before, excessive social media engagement. When a man is on his phone, you go to work, you come back 10 p.m., 11, you are still on your phone. Women too, they engage in watching SeaWorld and all that, and we don't pay attention to our home. So that's the question. At what point is the red flag? Before or after? Can we just take
what we talked about before, which means by the time you start chatting with the fella, right? So if you are okay with a man sending you messages by 12 a.m., which means you're okay with that. He's not asleep by 12 a.m., he's not doing tahajjud. He's sending maybe nude pictures, because actually that's the problem now. And we forget that in Islam, there's not supposed to be a relationship between you and your husband. It's just a courtship. So you're not even supposed to be having the chat up and down, but then just send them nude pictures. Then after marriage, the thing about social media is, honestly, you have to be very, very careful and you have to use hikmah. Because this is the problem that many, many couples are having. You have to be deliberate, and then you have to be smart about it. I think for most women, the mistake that we make is that we don't address this issue. We don't think before we act. So when we come with hand akimbo and accusing and fighting, you can't make a change with aggression. Believe me, I learned the hard way. If you want to make a change, you have to be patient. You have to tell the person, you know this thing is haram. We are Muslims. And most importantly, for me, what I use is, we are the moral compass of our children. Our children see us and they learn from us. They learn more from what they see from us than what they hear. So we should be an example.
Okay, so aside from talking to, we can actually assume the role of being role models. You know, try to be the change. If you want to see the other person stop, the excessive social media engagement, you also should learn to lead by example also. So be strategic about it, and choose your fight. Choose your fight, guys. Okay, so there is this one, Assalamu alaikum. What is the ruling on family planning in a newlywed couple? Can it be done medically, such as injections and co? The rule of family planning in marriage, in newly couple.
It's important we remember that even during the time of Prophet Muhammad, the Sahaba practiced family. English lingo, coitus interruptus. They will not allow the relationship to consummate with them going into their wives. So they practice it. In today's world, if you look at the rights and responsibilities that we distributed, if the two, both husband and wife, agree, they have to discuss the decision to go into family planning and how to go about it. In my case, the marriage was toxic. We were not getting along, and I told my wife that it is not the right environment to have children. I took on the responsibility to practice the family plan, and the men, the sisters understand when the man takes the role. So that's basically what we did. We waited until we felt as a unit we were strong enough to be present and in the moment parents. That was when we decided to have the children. But the one mistake we make as a society is we put the burden of family planning on the women. And the men can take that without causing the woman any harm. And that was the objective. I didn't want my wife taking tablets or anything like that to prevent pregnancy. There's also the fear of conception and when does the life start, when can you abort it, when can it come out, and so on and so forth. So to avoid that, I took on that responsibility. So yes, you discuss it, you talk about it, you decide the methodology of what you're going to use. And my advice is, if the two of you agree and you have justifiable reason for holding off, just follow the method that will never become harmful to the women.
Thank you very much.
In addition to what he said, explore your options. Make sure that you have exhausted all other.
Anybody really tell you that one? Me, they don't tell me. Me, they don't tell me.
You have agreed between yourselves.
Me, they don't tell me.
But then also remember that you don't want to do something like you don't know what your standing is, you don't know. Some, in fact, if even encourage a fertility test before marriage. In the event that we don't do that, you don't know what your level is. So you have to really be very. And really, I know some couple who just they said to themselves, I don't want my wife to get pregnant. She said, I don't want to get pregnant. I just want to wait for 2 years. No, just 1 year. Then I'm telling you that it's been 11, 12 years and no babies. So we should trust in Allah and be careful with the decisions that we take. All right, so this says, okay, this question is about matchmaking. If the organization has a matchmaking site, or if they know any. Not yet. We don't have that yet. Okay, but I think, okay, so Bainakom, if you know Bainakom, I think they are in Abdul Fattah Adeyemi National Mosque. I think they also do. We haven't started that. And Nur Mosque, yes.
Assalamu alaikum. We don't do matchmaking, but the truth is, if you're a young man here, there are young ladies here. Just say salamu alaikum with your eyes down and ask for her father's phone number. Please ask for father's phone numbers, brothers. Okay, so yes, this question says how, when, and why. Why, when, and how did we need to get married? Interesting. Why, when, how? Yes, anyways, the quality in NLP, it is said that the quality of the question, the quality of the answer that you get is dependent on the quality of the question that you ask. I would like to say that this person, we have given this opportunity that after this panel discussion, you can actually come for one-on-one, because we need to know why. Let me quickly add to that. The fact that the Prophet ﷺ has mentioned that marriage is a sunnah, and whoever doesn't like his sunnah is not a part of him. It is enough reason to get married. And why are we all here? How did we come to this place? Through marriage. So I think that should be enough reason to get married. And then the other questions you ask, maybe you should see us after this, session, inshallah.
We want to talk on the how and when, or maybe why to some extent. Why, as Coach actually said, it is because the Sunnah of Sallallahu Allah gave orders in the Quran that thank you, my Baba. There are a lot of commands in the Quran asking you to marry. And look at the basic reasons. So that you can have tranquility. You are not complete without the partner. How do you get this tranquility? You get it with the partner. So that you become transparent. So that you have somebody to love. So that you have somebody to extend message to. And that was what Allah did to Nabi Adam when he had the intention of vicegerency for him. So that the angels would see him as above him. As above them. So Allah had to give him Allah gave him some reputation by saying you will marry, but the angels will not marry, so that you feel somehow above the angels. You'll be complete in one sense. You'll be very, very transparent, and so that you can now occupy the position of vicegerency in Nija'il without the Khalifa. That is one of the basic reasons. And when is it done? And those things, that is what we said, whosoever among you is already, anyone among you that is already sufficient to marry, this sufficiency comes with finances, it comes with maturity, it comes with knowledge, it comes with wisdom. That is the time. When we are mature, it starts with that maturity. And when do you do it? How do you do it? Do it in accordance with the Islamic tenets. It's a triangular triangle. That is. And you meet somebody, you actually accept the person, you love one another, then you now go into the wali, you seek the interest of the parents. Then
You organize a time whereby people come and serve as witness. That if Shahidain or Adalain, people should witness at least minimum of 2. Then you now do what? Al Walima, all you want to be shouting. You now try to do something that actually make it publicity, so that people will know that this is done. Salaam alaikum.
Thank you, Ustaz. I want Ustaz Abdallah to answer this question, please, from the table. So this question says, please, Malam, how do I cope with a stingy husband?
Hey, people like us.
Yeah. How to cope with a stingy husband? We are the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The wife of Abu Sufyan complained to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam about the nature of her husband, that is a stingy person. And then the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave her the way out of the situation. And he said to her, take that which is enough for you and your children, and then take care of yourself, but do not go excess. Don't take more than what you need. So we give you the same solution that the Prophet ﷺ gave to him, the wife of Abu Sufyan, when she complained of how stingy her husband was. And the stinginess in this situation means he's not able to take care of her, to feed her. Remember, you can't ask someone to spend more than he has. Allah said, لينفق ذو سعة من سعته ومن قدر عليه رزقه فلينفق مما آتاه الله. Allah has given us a formula. Let the rich man feed in accordance with the wealth that Allah has given to him. And let the one whose means of sustenance has been restricted, is not wealthy, let him spend accordingly. لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا ما آتاها. So do not overburden someone beyond what he or she can be able to do. So the formula and the way out to deal with a stingy husband that is not taking care of you, the basics of what you need is to take from his wealth without seeking for his permission, to take from his wealth that which will enable you to survive being his wife, you and your children. The formula was given by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Give you the reference.
Jazakallah khairan. Women, clap. MashaAllah. So this question is actually very important. As we all know, it is our reality today. If your husband confesses to sinful acts, if your husband confesses to sinful acts such as zina, drugs, and also had illegitimate kids before you got married to him, and you decided to stop being intimate and eventually ask for divorce, is the wife sinful?
If the husband never told you before your marriage that these are actually what he has gotten, and it is after the marriage you knew that these things were actually there, it means such a husband is deceptive. Islam said, whosoever deceives us is not of us. Whosoever deceives us is not of us at all. And that is the stand of God. That is, you must not be deceptive. But this is not enough reason for you to forget about the marriage. Things that is done and is bad, you try to make things better forwards. Now those ones should be there, and you try to make sure you feel as if no one was actually there before you came, and do make things right. Try to take that off your mind, get people that can actually push you or talk to you, advise you over it, so that leaves your mind, you don't become hypertensive over that, and continue with the marriage. Allahu Ta'ala.
Now,
are you referring to both genders?
No. Even when the woman too has so, the woman has actually maybe had a child before, and before the marriage, she was deceptive actually. She never told you what actually happened. You try to make sure you condone her. That should know. We are not saying outrightly you to say because of this you are divorcing.
as so long as such a woman remains upright, as so long as such a woman remains submissive, subservient, following Islamic teachings, you can get that off your memory.
Right.
Except if you are somebody that anytime at all you see such a woman, that brings anger into your mind against her, and that may even take you to court, then you can seek divorce. But if it doesn't take to such an extent, you try to maintain the relationship and flourish.
Sorry, I think part of the reason why the sisters are asking is we have a double standard in society. The man will commit the offenses and the wife will be expected to forgive and move on. When the woman does, the entire community will turn on her. So we need to be honest about this. We don't have the double standard where the man does it, the entire family will surround you, beg you, do this, do that, let him forgive. But the woman, one thing, maybe even 10 years ago, but she didn't feel she needs to tell us, she never told you this. No, divorce. And she will be stigmatized. It doesn't end there. The divorce does not end her suffering because she will be marked. We should stop doing that. Assalamu alaikum.
Yes, just a quick one. Whether man or woman, does that make it right? No. Why am I saying this? We are always justifying that, okay, because my husband hurt me so much, that is why I have to do it back. They say it's a man's world, go, so let him wait, and please, it's not justifiable. The fact that he does that to you does not mean that you should do it. And we are still saying that it is not permissible. The man should not take it that it's the man's world. So you should take it. And then you go and report her to your mother or your siblings and they come fighting. And your mom will tell her, I didn't give birth to my son for you alone. So I think we should get it straight. It is not the man's world, neither is it the woman's world. If you do it, and that's one or the other will hold you responsible for it. You are sinning against them. So we'll go for physical question. Physical question.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Jazakumullah khairan for this beautiful initiative. Hayakumullah, may Allah preserve you and bestow his barakah on it. So my question is related to the courtship, during the courtship process or the talking stage process. We know, we're taught that the most important thing to look out for in a potential or prospective partner is their deen, their religiosity. So I was just wondering, how exactly do you determine or gauge a person's religiosity? What makes a person a religious person? How can you tell that, okay, this person is good in the deen, is a religious person? Is it the salah you take alone, or the fasting, or the community involvement, or are there specific questions that you have to ask for you to be able to determine that, yes, this person, is intentional about their development in terms of the deen?
Okay, thank you very much. Anybody want to take? Because I want to take.
Religiousness does not imply God-fearing. So someone can wear the toga of religion. He prays where people see him pray. He does all these things. That does not make that person God-fearing. But you look at the company the person keeps, but you don't rely on your investigation alone. You take the matter before Allah to show you. That's why we talk about istihara. And you don't do it alone. You ask family members and any other person that you know to be, well, I should say, God conscious and God fearing, to join you in the istihara. In my case and Mariam's case, they did istihara. At the same time, the father had me investigate. Did I smoke? Did I wear jewelry? Was I rude to parents? How did I talk to people as the istihara was going on? In my family, on our side, we fasted. Embark on istihara. And before we did, my father said, if Allah shows us that she's not the right one, are you ready to walk away? I said, yes. So both families did that after the investigations. So this is the one time you're allowed to look into somebody's background. Whichever way you can get more information on this potential partner, please do. It's not an offense. It's too big a decision. Thank you.
And also even put up some grammars after investigation, put up some grammars to actually test him and see who he is. There are some things naturally you don't like, or maybe you are not actually an adherent of such advices, but you try to make him feel or make her feel it's good and safe. One side, but the matter is how you get to do it. But you just like an all-encompassing that actually captures anything, put it. So if you put things that are actually bad, literally, let's somehow put it into it.
Just to add to this, just a quick word, please. And there are two different things. Being religious and being spiritual, there are two different things. So being religious, you can find a man going to the masjid for 5 times daily prayers, maybe doing Mondays and Thursdays, fasting on Mondays and Thursdays, and maybe doing zakah, charity. That's not it. You know, the real thing is taqwa. By interacting with that person, we get to understand if he actually, do things in accordance to what Allah has said. How he says something whenever he opens his mouth. What he does. Does he have the consciousness of Allah in whatever he does and whatever he says? And akhlaq too. What are his manners in regards to those that are below him? Should be put into consideration.
Thank you very much. Just a quick one in addition to that. If I say that if you are a parent here, you are a 21st century parent, and you sleep at night from Isha till Subuhi, you are not serious. Honestly speaking. And you want to have the best children. You want to produce the best for the Ummah. Who told you that the mother of Imam Malik, Imam Ahmad, they were sleeping all through like that? What are we doing? The Prophet ﷺ gave us, and last one gave us this, it's not a gift, amana. The children are amana, but this gift of tahajjud, what are we doing? And now you are a young girl. We have challenges in the society. Our marriages are crumbling. You're not happy with your marriage and you're sending your daughter out for marriage. Now let me speak to the young girls. And you also sleep. You say you are a Muslim, you sleep all through the night and you are looking for the best and perfect man. You are not serious. You need to attend that. Go back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Go back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I said it. Subhanallah, my husband is not here and I'm not happy. I said this to people. I married the husband that Allah chose for me. Because I knew, I prayed, I said this to my sisters, I prayed about it and I got my husband. What I didn't pray for, guess what? I saw it. So, if you put your trust in Allah, talk to Allah, tell Allah exactly the kind of husband you want. Wallahi, Allah will not put you to shame.
You become the Aisha to get the Muhammad.
Okay, so just a quick, it's time for Salah. Loads and loads of questions. I don't know how we are going to do. So someone is asking this question. Please, I want the coaches to shed more light on couple openness and being true to each other towards the courtship and journey of marriage. Okay, so brothers and sisters, you can see that this conversation is becoming very interesting. We know that if we spend a week here, we will not be able to attend to this. That is why we are saying we have our fathers here, we have our mothers, we have those that are carrying babies, they want to go home. We want to please beg you, if you still want to continue, we are not tired. After answering, we have decided to gift you today. Come back, we will sit down and trash this out, inshallah. And then again, please call to Diamond Support Network. Our address, we are in Lord Lugard Street, number 36, Lord Lugard Street. Detail will be outside. If you still want to get our numbers, you can meet us, get our numbers, so we can continue with this conversation. This is really very important. Ustaz, I'm very sorry, please. I think I'm also keeping to my words. I would like to hand over to the anchor
These questions will be treated after Sola. If you still want to come back, we were available, inshallah.
Thank you very much, Mr. Alima. Please, can we put our hands together for all of them? Just like you said, they are all going to be back here after Asir, and we're going to treat all your questions. But this time it will be like one-on-one. We're going to share your questions. You're going to meet them to discuss all of this. So after Asir, see you back here. Huh? Pray. All right, can we have closing prayers before? Yeah, we do have a closing prayer for those that want to leave. They'll go with the prayers. And then you have your answer, then return. Benabio, please.
I cannot even talk again. That guy, no way.
Yes. So he is going to give us the closing prayers, of course, with your closing remarks. Yes. So he's the man, the only man we have on the board of trustees. Thank you very much, sir.
First of all, I would like to show gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for making this a reality. Second of all, I would like to appreciate the group of women that have come together to come up with this initiative. And as I was saying with Alhaji Tabuwa and even Her Excellency, that it's really unfortunate and then commendable. It's sort of oxymoron that the problem of our homes, the solutions are genuinely being profiled by women. So it means the women are more concerned about making the marriage work than the men. So almost all the initiatives that I've seen with respect to premarital and then counseling sessions for women, for married couples, almost all the initiatives that I've seen has been championed or have been championed by women. And then one, we commend them for that, and then we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to reward them. And then secondly, it speaks for of how careless perhaps we, the men, are, that we literally don't even we don't actually show any genuine concern regarding what's going on in our home. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you, the founders of Courtship Diamond. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward all of you that have graced this occasion, the participants, the guests of honor, the special guests of honor, the chief host, and all of the panelists. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you. And then my closing remarks would be centered around what I've listened to from the time I stepped into this place. It's been very amazing, and I hope it changes a lot of our perspective and then our orientation towards marriage itself. But one thing that I always have on in my recent discussions about marriages and responsibility, and then duties and rights and what have you, is the issue of responsibilities as against rights. Pay attention to this. Don't look at marriage as an arena for you to fight for your rights. Believe you me, nobody has his rights given to him intact in this world. That is why I'm saying the absolute justice is going to go to. We are only charged to be responsible. So, as against discussing this is my right as a wife and this is my right as a husband, let us shift the spotlight and put the focus on responsibilities. What is my responsibility as a husband? What is my responsibility as a wife? If I, as the husband, am responsible, would you fight for your right? Would you ask me? Which means I'm responsible. Your right are vindicated. If the wife is responsible, would the husband say, my wife is not giving me my right? You only cry of rights when there is an irresponsible person. So let us discuss responsibility often as against rights. Believe you me, we are turning marriages into employer and employee relationship. And that's what we are having in our society today. It's not about, let me tell you this issue of cooking. And I'm not trying to justify anything. If a woman loves a man even before marriage, on campus, you see women cooking for their boyfriends because they love them and they see it as a show of love. So the woman is happy cooking for someone that she loves. That is love in between, right? But today, someone that you are married, you are discussing whether to cook for the person or not. If you really love your husband, the issue of cooking is not an issue. Whether you are obliged to or not obliged to, that is another discussion.
Yes.
But it's an issue of وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً. If there is love, wallahi, you will never be tired serving the person you love. Why are we not tired praying 5 times a day? It's because there is hope, which is one of the conditions of La ilaha illallah. Mahabba between us and our mom. So we stand up to pray 5 times a day and you're never tired and you're not complaining because you love worshiping Allah. When you love your husband and the husband loves his wife, he spends on her without complaining. She cooks for him, she serves him, she obeys him without complaining. Wallahi, whenever you see someone complaining, I can't cook for my husband, there is something lost in the word of love. The love is not at the level that it's supposed to be. Let us focus on responsibilities. Allah is going to ask us about responsibilities, not rights. You are responsible to pray 5 times a day. Allah says it's right upon him to admit you to Jannah if you don't commission. But when Allah asks you in Yawm al-Qiyamah to say, are you going to Jannah or not? Allah is going to ask you whether you pray or not. That is the responsibility. Allah is not going to ask us about rights. Allah is going to ask us about responsibilities. So when Allah asks us between husband and wife, it's not going to be about right. It's going to be about how irresponsible you be to your wife. That's what Allah is going to do to us. So please, let us look at marriage the way Islam wants to look at it. It's a love relationship. Look at it. The Prophet said, that's it. So please, let this be a closing remark from me. That we look at marriage as something of union and not an arena to showcase who has more right or not. Let us look at it as something that is between two people that are agreed to stay with each other and then be responsible. Please be responsible. Stop discussing this right. When you enter the house with, this is my right, this is my right, wallahi, believe you, you will never have a good marriage. Because there is something of your right that will not be given to you, whether you like it. The right of the law, not to talk of human beings. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy. I hope you will come back and continue the discussion with the panelists and then be truthful and be sincere. Come back and continue this conversation and then visit. A lot of people did not have this opportunity. Today we have this opportunity, and at the end of this, which I really wanted to talk. People have actually asked me, this pre-marital conference, this counseling is un-Islamic. You're just importing Western ideas. And I say, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and perhaps this will equip you, the organizers, because some people are skeptical about premarital conferences and things like this. But in my little understanding, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Al-Nur, Allah said, when يَسْتَعْفِفِ الَّذِينَ لَا يَجِدُونَ النِّكَاحًا حَتَّى يُغْنِيَهُمُ اللَّهُ مِنْ فَضْلِهِ. Allah said, let him who has no means to get married, let him be chaste and withhold from getting married until Allah enriches him from his provision. Now that is responsibility. You are not able, you don't even know what marriage is all about. Allah said, put a pause yet. You are not responsible yet. put efforts until Allah enriches you. This enrichment, until Allah enriches you financially, until Allah enriches you physically, mentally, you are able to take this marriage issue. And that is why the hadith that Imam quoted in Sahih Muslim, the hadith of Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Ya ma'shar al-shabab, man istata'a minkum al-ba'a falyatazawwaj." For you, the gathering of young men, whoever of you is able to, look at it, ability to get married is not restricted to finances. There are so many things. So whoever is able to, let him get married. Otherwise, do not. So that is, you need to know whether you are ready to get married. And you cannot know this if you don't attend conferences where marriages are discussed and responsibilities are discussed. I hope this will equip the organizers to know that yes, there is a basis for this Islamically. Subhanakallah wa bihamdika, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.
Thank you.